Hey, welcome back to Kitchen Counseling. Today we're going to do a curry chicken with coconut rice. This is a nice variation on your basic chicken and rice casserole dish, and it is a great recipe to have right now as far as our particular situation that we're in with social distancing and quarantining. So families are all together. This is also a great dish you can do with the family. We're going to show you how you can kind of take turns and put it all together. Everybody gets involved. It's a great family social environment process, and it's a great dish for everyone. It's not a spicy dish, so the kids are going to love it. If you want to spice it up, you can, but you don't have to. So we're going to start with a basic. We got basically 3.5–4 pounds of chicken, and I've got a mixture of spices here. And in here is curry powder, and we got some cayenne pepper, just a little bit, some salt and pepper, and what was it? Turmeric. We got some turmeric in here. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit, and we're going to just sprinkle this all over our chicken. All right, and we're just going to work it around, toss it around. We want to kind of coat the chicken with the spices. That's going to set in there as we cook it. There we go. Get it all covered up pretty good. It's going to give it a nice color. I love working with turmeric. Turmeric is good for you. It also gives it a nice color when you're cooking. So basically you're going to have some big pieces. I've got some thighs I'm working with today. You can use whatever you like. All right, so our first step is we're going to actually cook this chicken, brown it. So we're going to throw it onto the stovetop, and we're going to step in there and do that. It cooks for about 12 minutes just to get it nice and brown. We're going to set that aside. Then we're going to make the actual rice dish together, and then we put the chicken back in there. We're going to stick it in the oven, and we're going to bake it for about 20 minutes on 350 degrees. So our next step is we're going to brown the chicken. So we're going to put these chicken pieces into our hot oil, skin side down. Now you're only using a couple teaspoons of just a vegetable oil in here, heating that up so it's nice and hot when you put the chicken pieces in. And then we're going to cook it for a few minutes on each side, probably about 6 minutes or so, just to kind of get nice and brown. I'm going to flip them over to the other side. We're going to get them all nice and brown, then we're going to take it off. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through at this point, because we are going to be cooking it in the oven. So we're looking for a nice look to it right now. This is going to be that pretty look when it comes out at the finishing. Few minutes on this side. You can check them out here. Oh yeah, so now you're looking at nice brown crispiness there. The spices give it some nice color. Okay, one of the things I've learned as I've been talking with folks that don't do a whole lot of cooking is that cutting up onions especially is something that they're afraid of. So I'm going to show you a nice easy way to do this, because the problem with the onion is it's round, so it's a little bit harder to deal with. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get all of the skin off of here. And all I've done ahead of time that was before was cut the ends off. I basically cut one end off where it sprouts out. The other end of it's more the root. I left a little bit of the root still in there, so it holds it together while we're cutting this, and it's going to make it a lot easier for us. By cutting that off, we got a nice flat surface to start with. We're going to cut this thing in half. And I'm going to cut this thing in half again. Always looking at where that root part is so it kind of holds it together. So now we got a quarter of an onion. We want to make a dice. We're just going to make vertical cuts. So I just do that. Oh, did it that way. Now we got to do it this way. And then we're just going to cut right down here. You can cut up a whole onion very quickly this way. Just be using those flat surfaces. That's what's going to make it a lot easier for you. You don't have to worry about anything with fingers. Your fingers are never getting close to the actual knife. So we'll just cut one side. Again, just down, 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 down. Flip it over, down, 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 down and down, and then across. And you have some nice chopped onions. There you go. Brown on the bottom now. I'm going to bring my plate over here. We're going to put this on a plate and just set it aside right now. Our next step is going to be cooking the rice, and we're going to do it right in this same pan. Now, if you don't have a big pan like this that will actually go from the stovetop to the oven, you could do this process on a regular skillet on your stovetop and then transfer it to some type of a baking dish. After you've done the rice, you can put it all in there and layer it, but I like using the one pan option. All right, we've finished with our browning of the chicken. So I'm going to have my good friend Lisa join us for the next step of preparing the coconut rice. So Lisa, why don't you come in and join me? Hey, little,
right.
Nice to see you.
Socially appropriate.
Yes.
Out there.
So we're going to head down to the stovetop and we're going to actually put the coconut rice together, and we're going to finish it by putting the chicken back into the coconut rice, and then it's going to go into the oven. Back at the stovetop now, we've reduced the heat to medium. We had added just a little, about another teaspoon of vegetable oil, just a plain vegetable oil. Now we're going to add in our onion, garlic, ginger, and a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to go ahead and cook that, stirring it with our wooden spoon until the onion gets translucent. Might just be still might have a little bit high. We'll turn it down just a little bit. We don't want to brown the onion. We just want it to kind of turn translucent. You'll also find with some of that, as it starts to, the onion starts to release the water and stuff in the actual vegetable, some of those little bits are going to come up. And you can scrape those in and make nice pieces.
Okay, sounds good.
Probably another minute or two. Basically, what you want to do, you don't want to cut it off too fast. You want it to get nice and soft. Because we want this to be complementary at the end. We don't want to have hard chunks of onion in there. If you just throw it in there for like 30 seconds, the onion still hasn't cooked enough. And it might cook enough through the baking process, but I would prefer handling it where I can watch it. So maybe another just a minute or so, then we'll throw the tomato paste in there and cook that just for about a minute.
It smells delicious.
That's going to be your first indication that it's getting there. When you start getting that smell coming out, the garlic releases, the onion releases. Once it starts getting fragrant, then you're probably at a good spot where you can throw the tomato paste in there. That looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Okay, so now this one?
Yep, scoop that all in there. Perfect. And just stir it around just to kind of soften it, let it start to work its way into the onions you got in there. Okay, now you can throw the rice. We got 2 cups of rice. This is basmati rice. I'm just going to throw it right in there. Go ahead and throw your coconut milk in there. 1 15-ounce can of coconut milk. Just the whole thing. There you go, just like that. And then 2 cups of water. And then we're just going to stir this up real good. And I'm going to increase your heat now to high because we want to bring this to a boil. So just stir it for a little bit so it's all nice and combined, then we'll leave it alone so it comes to a boil. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look. We got some nice foliage going on here. So we're going to take our chicken that we already browned up. We're just going to place it into this. Arrange it in here so it looks nice and pretty. Skin side up. Turn off the heat here. Now, I had the cover on it to boil it. It brings the temperature up a little faster that way, so it'll boil really fast. Now we're going to put the cover back on. This is going in the oven for 20 minutes, and then we're going to eat. All right, we're going to take this now from the stovetop to the oven. We're going to cook this in the oven, 350 degrees for 20 minutes. This is what you do all by yourself. And that's what I love about these type of pans, where you can go right from the stovetop to the oven. But if you don't have a pan that can go into the oven, like I said, use a casserole dish. 20 minutes later, we'll be sitting down to have some food. All right, we're 20 minutes later now. Let's check out our chicken. Gonna put it right onto the table here. So we got a nice little trivet here. Gonna take a look at what it looks like. Oh, it's all nice. Gonna sprinkle that with just a little bit of cilantro. Curry chicken, coconut rice. All right, welcome back to Kitchen Counseling. We're gonna enjoy a little bit of our curry chicken and coconut rice. So let's dig in and see how it tastes.
It smells delicious. That's
Yeah.
good.
You can get the flavors from the turmeric and curry, and I don't really get the cayenne. You could probably add a little more cayenne and pump that up a little bit if you want more spicy. It's a little bit more, it's on the mild side. This is designed for a family.
I feel a little bit of that.
You feel a little
Yeah.
bit? Okay, maybe I just can handle a lot more heat. I don't know.
Very
Let's see
good.
how this chicken came out.
Oh, the flavor is delicious.
Mm. God, I love curry. I just
Me
love
too.
curry. This is a great one.
So good.
This is a great one. It's a very easy, fast one you can do with your family. Check it out, and I'm gonna finish enjoying this. So we'll see you guys in a little while.